Welcome back, guys. So excited to be doing a video for you guys today. But before we get into the topic of today's video, I want to let you guys know I really appreciate all the love support you've been showing the channel, me and the Mad Gaming. I really appreciate it. And I gotta say, a lot of you guys really had a lot to say about the last video. I really loved how y'all leave comments down there in the comment section below. Y'all kind of gave me your opinions about what y'all thought about the game and what y'all thought about Neil Druckmann's interview in that video, and I really appreciate it. And speaking of the last video, today's video will be part 2 of that video, because when I uploaded that video last week, it was a 20-minute video, and a lot of you guys let me know in the comment section below that the second part of the video audio was not on there. And I had to apologize to you guys about that. Like I said before, I'm really sorry about that. So I decided to do 2 separate videos talking about the second biggest criticism people had with The Last of Us Part 2 and the third biggest criticism. And we're going to do that for 2 separate videos. So today's video will be the second biggest criticism people had about The Last of Us Part 2. And as before, like we did in the first video, I'm going to show you a clip of Neil Druckmann talking to an interview, explaining why he went in that direction and why he made the ending the way he made it. And then we'll talk about some of you guys' opinions about how you feel about the ending. And then we'll judge if people are being subjective or objective. And you guys can make your own judgment in the comment section below as well. So without further ado, let's roll that clip to that interview. Roll it.
Off of that, today I was on Reset Era reading the thread of like people talking about the ending. And I love the discussion. I love like when people say like, oh man, she should have killed Abby. And like, no, then you're a fucking psychopath if you think that. Yeah. Like if you think like Abby should have died and Ellie should have died and they're all going at it and it's like, yes. That's what we struggle with. That's the dilemma of like they're all right and they're all wrong. Is that like because Abby tortured and killed someone. That's horrible. That's horrific. But everything that Ellie is doing to bring people to justice, Ellie killed a pregnant woman. That's more horrific in some ways. So I love that people struggle with this, and there is no right answer here. Like the one thing I've seen some criticism that's the one that like they're like, oh, the game is like I kill a dog in 1 second and I pet the dog, so the game is like wagging its finger at me. I was like, the game is not making any judgments. The game is just presenting, here are some acts and here's another view on those same acts. You make with it what you will. The game is not making any judgments on your actions.
The question here was from Bob, aka Steven, who said, what was the decision behind the ending of the game? And I think the reason I'm still reading this question is that I think he puts context to it that is something I don't agree with, but I understand being a player. I'm not mad and I don't hate it, but instead feel bad for Ellie. Honestly, I kind of wish she did kill Abby. That way she would have at least ended with something. By the end, she doesn't get a revenge. She loses Joel, loses Dina and JJ, got Jesse killed, presumably didn't make up with Tommy, and can't play guitar. I understand that the message is revenge is hollow, and she does choose to do the right thing in the end, but she still gets nothing out of it. I still think it was a strong ending, and the game is more than fantastic, and I cried multiple times. Also, it's worth pointing out, too, before you answer him, is that for a time of the show, every one of these questions began with the preamble of, I loved it, and it's amazing, and it's a masterpiece, and it made me think, and like, everyone says nice things about your game. I just cut them out to get to the questions. But I think this is a great point of what I didn't take, you know, I mean, I'm with you, I almost called you Ashley, of when the fight was happening, and it would be the ones where you have to come up and hit square, I wouldn't. I would stay back as Ellie, hoping I could end the fight there, rather than engage and have it continue. And so when it is done, and I think this is to your point, Neil, that are no judgments. What I think the whole game is gray, and I think that, you know, we get to see these characters lose the high ground and have the high ground over and over again. And when, you know, Abby, who we've now fallen in love with, or I had at least, has, you know, walks off with Lev and is like, this way, there's boats, and Ellie's like, we're gonna fight. She's like, we're not gonna do this, and Ellie turns that corner and becomes the villain of this scene of walking over to Lev and like, no, you're gonna do this, or I'm gonna kill him. And it's like, all right, let's go. Like, it's this push and pull of it, and it's to the point that I think I got out of the game, right? That yeah, like these two are on the same journey at different points, and we got to play Abby's post getting the job done thing. She accomplished her goal, and guess what? It wasn't great on the other end. So to see Ellie get to the point of, I'm going to try to accomplish this goal again, and then not do it, I was like, good, that is the right choice. But I do understand this argument that you want a happy ending for Ellie because you love Ellie and we've seen her through so many hours of gameplay. It's just, I don't know what is that what this again, were you meaning to be cruel to everyone, Neil? Was that the idea?
Yes. Sorry, repeat the phrasing one more time. Is it
it was what the decision was behind the ending. Like, and I guess we've already talked about that.
But you walk away with nothing. I
Yeah.
guess we kind of answered that before, which is this event that happened because of Abby turned Ellie's life upside down. It kind of fucked up her life in this major way. And the whole journey is her coming out of that. And I guess like you can't talk about Ellie's journey without talking about Abby's journey as well, because Abby's journey as well, she committed the act, and we see that now she's starting to feel like she thinks everybody sees her as this monster. Her nightmares didn't go away about her dad dying. It didn't fix her dad dying.
Yeah.
And Abby's journey is one of redemption, of like this is how you find purpose, this is how you come out of it. And it's like it shows that with Ellie threatening Lev, is like she's on the tipping point of becoming the monster she's trying to kill. Like, and she brings herself back from that brink. And to me, that's worth more than anything else in her life at that moment. Like, to me, like killing Abby would, I don't know where then she would have been no different at that point than when she was at the beginning.
Caleb wrote in patreon.com/kindafunny and says, I've seen criticism online that I don't personally agree with that the game is too dark and that humanity would band together in a crisis rather than turn into factions and into violence. What are your opinions on this? What are your opinions on that? I put that all together. Do you think your childhood in Israel may have influenced your views on this and the story you wanted to tell?
What, Caleb, was that his name?
Callum, I guess. Callum.
I would say, have you turned on the news lately? Have you looked at what's going on around the world?
We've all band together. We all agree we have to wear masks. Everybody's doing it. It's great. Don't worry.
Everybody's doing it, right? It's certainly not a hoax.
I mean, it's true. We often, right, in a crisis, you see the best and worst of humanity.
Yeah.
And we tried our best to reflect that within like an action game, is to show a place like Jackson that is trying to live by a moral code that's close to, you know, the world we live in today, at least in the safety of the United States. And then we show other places that struggle, that are, right, the WLF and the Seraphites fighting over and just being locked in this war. But we also show you glimpses of when you're playing as Abby inside the WLF base, that they have classes and they have kids and they have livestock and they have a working gym to justify how women can get buff. And they live a normal life. So it's like both things are true. Like there's awful cruelty and endless cycle of violence in parts of the world. And there's wonderful love and compassion as well.
Wow, there was a lot said in that portion of the interview. So let's unpack everything. So the first thing I want to discuss is Neil's vision for this game. He wanted this game to be gray. He didn't want to be just a clear-cut good and evil. He wanted everybody to see every side of the coin. He wanted to see everybody's perspective on why they was driven to do the things they did in the game. Showing that humanity can be loving, compassionate, and humanity can also be dark, hateful, and violent, which I thought was awesome. It makes great conversation pieces, and it's something that makes games, to me, very interesting and very unique, in my opinion. Now, let's talk about what Neil Druckmann's idea for the ending was, why he wanted the game to end the way it did. And basically what he said in an interview, in a nutshell, is that Ellie had to go on a journey to get back her humanity, because when she lost Job, it messed her up in the head. It really messed her up in the head, and all she could think about was getting vengeance. Now, a lot of people in the community, especially in the Let's community, feel like that was dumb. They feel like that made no sense when you have a revenge tale, and then a person gets to the person they want revenge on, they just let them go, defeats the whole purpose. But see, that wasn't the purpose of Ellie's journey. And I got that planted. And some people did, and some people didn't. And it's okay to have your own opinions about it. But Ellie's journey was not a journey, started out as revenge, but ended in her getting her humanity back. Because when she lost Job, she lost all reasoning. And we get more into that later. But that's the basis of what Neil Druckmann stated on why Ellie decided not to kill Abby, because she wanted to get control of this anger and hatred she had towards this woman. And she wanted to at least get her humanity back. And a lot of people may say that may be a secondary prize and that Ellie was left with nothing. Why even get your humanity back when everything you love is gone? And see, that's something that I don't understand, why people are making that statement, because Ellie has a lot more to go back to. Even if the relationship she had back in Jackson are messed up, they can be amended, they can be fixed. Abby, on the other hand, don't have nothing to go back to. All she have is Lib. She lost Lib's sister, the man she loved, all her friends, and a place that she called home for so many years. She can't go back to because she killed their leader, and she's branded a traitor. Ellie is not branded a traitor. Ellie's not hated by her community. She can go back there. She can mend her relationship with Dana. If Dana really loves her, they can fix that. Tommy, if he really loves her, they can fix that problem. Abby can't fix the problems that happened throughout her journey. All she could do is go move forward with Liv and try to make new memories and make a new family. So when people say that Ellie was left with nothing, it's really silly to me, because Ellie was left with a lot more than Abby was. And when you look at the whole context of the game and what Abby and Ellie lost in comparison, Abby lost a lot more than Ellie. Yes, Dana left her. She can always find out where Dana went. I'm sure Dana told somebody. And if she didn't, I'm sure that there's a trail that she can follow to find Dana. And Tommy's back in Jackson. I'm sure he's back in Jackson. He may be separated from his wife because of all the trauma he went through. But she can mend these relationships if she chooses to. Abby can't bring back the people she loved that died throughout her journey. She can't. And that's the whole point of this game, showing that when there's no judgment, people have different reasons on why they do different things. And their reasons may be justifiable to them, but to others, it may not be. And I think that's the whole point of this game. It's the question what you think is justified and not. Why vengeance is just a complete cycle. It has no real ending. It does not solve anything. And some of the people that I was reading comments on the videos and on Reddit posts, like, to end the cycle of violence was to kill Abby. In some perspective, that's true. When someone is out to kill you, constantly coming out to kill you, killing them will end them. But it won't stop someone that they care about coming after you. It has to stop when both individuals that want to harm each other don't want to do it anymore. And I think that that's the biggest message you can get from this game. Now let's talk about why Ellie was so driven to get revenge. Yes, Job was Ellie's everything. He was the father figure that she always wanted. Somebody that taught her how to swim, how to survive, how to play guitar. But when she found out that Job, selfishly stopped the Fireflies from killing her to get the vaccine, she felt like her life wouldn't have meant to anything. Her whole purpose throughout the first game was to save humanity by letting them figure out why she was immune. And throughout part 2 of the whole game, she didn't come across anybody else that was immune. She was the only individual that was immune to this virus, or fungal virus, whatever you want to call it. And Job told her when they first left there from the Fireflies hospital that there was others, and there's nothing they can do to get a vaccine, nothing they can do to stop this from happening. And then she come to find out that Job killed the only person that could make the vaccine. It hurt Ellie and made Ellie feel betrayed. And throughout the relationship in Jackson, they really didn't get along as well as they used to before she found out about this. And I think that's what drove her so much to get revenge, because she didn't get a chance to truly forgive Job for what he did. And Ellie felt like Abby took that from her. So that's another reason why I felt like Ellie was out to kill Abby. Because Ellie felt like the one thing that she needed to fix with Job, she cannot no longer fix it. And that's why I said that Abby has no one to go back to. only can move forward looking for the fireflies, get a new purpose, and to raise Liv, to make sure Liv have a long, healthy, happy life. Ellie committed a lot of crimes and got her meaning about it, and able to get redemption for what she did, and so was Abby. They both ended on good notes, and I think that that's something that was amazing throughout the whole game, which is why I can play it over and over again. I love it. But let me know your guys' opinion in the comment section below. Do you feel like Neil Druckmann didn't really explain why Ellie did not kill Abby? Or do you think that he was leaving that interpretation up to you, the player? Let me know if you think that that's still a dumb reason for not to kill Abby. Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for staying to the end of the video. Make sure you hit that like button, helps out the channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to become a Mad Gamer so you can see the new content that me and the Mad Gamer are going to be uploading soon. And part 3 of Neil Druckmann's response to criticism will be out sometime the week after next, because we got a couple other videos we want to upload for you guys. And as always, stay safe and remember, gaming is a lifestyle, not a hobby.